Inmates, and any of us, honestly, can sometimes be defined by the worst or the dumbest thing we've ever done. In the case of inmates, that's certainly what you're going to find if you search for their names online. Inside the Fremont Correctional Facility in Canyon City, a journalism professor challenged inmates to write their own life story, the good and the bad. Our Katie Eastman and photojournalist Ann Herbst take us to class.
The facts of your life up to this point are fixed. They've happened.
Every life has a story.
Denver native was born May 7th, 1977.
The narrator gets to decide how it begins and ends.
His life revolved around a duality of calm and chaos.
So at Fremont Correctional Facility, the incarcerated write their own.
Everybody should have their story told, and that's why I wanted you to write your own. Yeah.
John Moore asked his students to write their obituaries.
Nobody should be defined by one incident in their entire lives.
When he's not reporting for the Denver Gazette,
That's a good editor question.
John teaches a class that helps these men and women craft the Inside Report, a newspaper sent to all 17 Colorado prisons.
All journalism starts with solid reporting and good storytelling.
They have learned to write about others.
At first it was hard to find anything AJ didn't favor in life.
Asking questions about themselves is tougher.
You know, I was 12 years old when my best friend got murdered next to me through a drive-by. So, you know, death is very familiar to me.
These stories begin before they got here.
There were times our parents were nowhere to be found.
Always keeping his loved ones close and involved in his life, whether they wanted to or not.
Cellmates read words the authors know by heart.
He donated bone marrow. Bone marrow.
Some read their own.
His first pet was a white rabbit that he named it Roger.
Prior to his methamphetamine addictions, Sean was a senior lead controller of operations at the Consolidated Space Operations Complex.
The obituaries give insight into what led them here.
Patrick had said he struggled with neglect and abuse growing up.
Their stories,
Some people knew about his crime, some didn't.
created victims.
DOC number 185767 stayed hush-hush. The family was embarrassed.
You end up creating yourself based on things that you never expected to happen.
This is a chance to create an ending other than their crime.
Post-incarceration, he moved back to Pennsylvania, where he joined with his sister Kelly to create a non-profit marketplace featuring formerly incarcerated business owners and employees.
And his last days was spent on the beach of Florida watching the sunset.
Telling one's story doesn't happen often.
To readers, he was John Moore, but to his family and friends, he was always Johnny.
And the stories heard here have already become a part of another's.
When the pandemic of 2020 threw Moore out of a job, he was asked to teach an introduction to journalism class for the staff of a prison newspaper called Inside Report at the Fremont Correctional Facility in Canyon City. He considered it to be one of the great thrills of his life, he told anyone who would listen.
For Next,
30, end of story.
I'm Katie Eastman.
That's that.
John plans to continue going back to Fremont Correctional to teach, and he insisted that what he wrote in that obituary was absolutely true. Having those inmates as students has changed his life.